Mercantilism views, roughly 16th to mid-18th century. Mercantilism wasn't a formal school of thought like Physiocracy. Rather, it was a collection of economic ideas and policies predominantly practiced by European nation-states during the age of exploration and colonial expansion. Think of it as the common sense economics of kings and empires seeking to maximize their power and wealth. Core views of mercantilism. 1. Source of wealth, gold and silver, bullionism. Intuition. Imagine a king's treasury. The more gold and silver coins he has, the richer and more powerful he feels. For mercantilists, national wealth was synonymous with the accumulation of precious metals, bullion. Implication. If wealth is gold, how do you get more of it? You need to ensure money flows into your country and not out. 2. Trade as a zero-sum game. Intuition. Picture a fixed pie. If one country gets a bigger slice, another must get a smaller slice. Mercantilists believed that global wealth was fixed. Therefore, for one nation to gain wealth, another must lose it. Implication. This led to intense economic rivalry and protectionist policies aimed at enriching one's own nation at the expense of others. 3. Role of government. Extensive intervention and regulation. Intuition. If the goal is to hoard gold and beat other nations, the government needs to be a strong coach, making sure everyone plays by its rules. Policies. Promote exports, discourage imports, favorable balance of trade. Governments imposed high tariffs, taxes on imports, to make foreign goods expensive and less attractive, and provided subsidies, financial support, to domestic industries to make their exports cheaper and more competitive. Colonialism. Colonies were seen as sources of raw materials and captive markets for finished goods from the mother country, ensuring that wealth stayed within the empire. Manufacturing emphasis. They encouraged domestic manufacturing to produce goods for export, as finished goods generally fetched more gold than raw materials. Strong military. A powerful navy and army were crucial to protect trade routes, colonies, and enforce trade policies. Large population. A large, cheap labor force was seen as essential for abundant production. Physiocrats' views, mid-18th century France. The physiocrats emerged as a direct reaction to the perceived failures and inefficiencies of mercantilist policies in France. They observed that despite mercantilist policies, France was struggling economically, particularly its agricultural sector. Core views of physiocracy. 1. Source of wealth, agriculture, produce net. Intuition. A seed put into the ground yields many seeds. A cow produces milk, and eventually, calves. This is creation. A craftsman might make a beautiful chair, but he only transforms wood, he doesn't create the wood itself. For physiocrats, true wealth, the net product, or surplus, originated only from the inherent generosity of nature through agriculture. Manufacturing and commerce were sterile, because they only transformed or moved existing wealth, without generating a new surplus. Implication. This meant that policies should prioritize and encourage agriculture, as it was the engine of all wealth. 2. Trade as mutually beneficial, potentially, but internal circulation more important. Intuition. If different regions specialize in what they naturally produce best, e.g., fertile land for grain, rocky land for sheep, trade between them can make both better off. While not fully developed like later theories of comparative advantage, their natural order implied benefits from free exchange. Their primary focus, however, was on the free flow of wealth within the economy, facilitated by agriculture. Implication. They advocated for free trade, both domestically and internationally, seeing government restrictions as hindrances to the natural flow of wealth. 3. Role of government. Minimal intervention, laissez-faire. Intuition. Nature knows best. Just as a garden thrives when left to its natural processes, with just enough care, the economy will prosper if left free from excessive human laws and regulations. Policies. Laissez-faire, laissez-passer, let do, let pass. This was their rallying cry for free markets and free movement of goods and people. Single tax on land. Since only agriculture produced a true surplus, they argued that all taxes should ultimately fall on land. Any other taxes would merely be passed on, creating distortions, and eventually land on the same ultimate source of wealth. Protection of property rights. They believed secure property rights were essential for individuals to invest and make the land productive. Key differences summarized. Feature: mercantilism, physiocracy, source of wealth, gold, silver, and precious metals, bullion. Agriculture and land, produce net product. Role of other sectors. Manufacturing and trade are productive, agriculture less important. Manufacturing, commerce, and other sectors are sterile, transformative but not wealth-creating. Nature of trade. Zero-sum game. Gain for one means loss for another. Potentially mutually beneficial. Focus on internal circulation of wealth. Government role. Extensive intervention, regulation, protectionism, subsidies. Minimal intervention, laissez-faire, allow natural laws to operate. Trade policy. High tariffs, export promotion, import restriction, colonial monopolies. Free trade, laissez-passer, removal of barriers. Go. National power and accumulation of state wealth. Societal prosperity and the well-being of all classes through natural order. Taxation. Various taxes, often on trade and consumption. Single tax on land, the source of the net product. In essence, mercantilism looked outward, viewing wealth as something to be acquired from others through aggressive trade and state power. Physiocracy looked inward, believing wealth was generated from within the nation's natural resources, particularly its land, and that true prosperity would emerge if this natural process was allowed to unfold unimpeded by government. This philosophical divergence laid crucial groundwork for later economic thought, especially the classical school led by Adam Smith.